Assalamualaikum and good day to Dr. Hendra. We will present a topic entitled Refineries. My name is Farah Adila binti Azmi.
I am Eli Asida Miti Muhammad Hafizi.
Hi, I'm Muhammad Irfan Begamarul Asri.
I am Anis Shafika binti Alias.
Hi, and I am Nurul Iman Madadia binti Muhammad Rozi.
Hi, I'm Farah. So first of all, allow me to explain what is oil refineries. Oil refineries is an industrial process where crude oil is converted and refined into more usable good. It is considered an essential part of the downstream side of the petroleum industry. The project chosen for our assignment is one of the biggest investment of Petronas, which is Refinery and Petrochemical Integrated Development Rapid Project. It is along with other related facilities that are part of the PIPC, which is Pengerang Integrated Petroleum Complex. This is a joint venture of Petronas and Saudi Arabia National Oil Company, which is Saudi Aramco. The project started 2013 and finished by the end of 2019. The project has achieved a total of 8,600 jobs in the operational phase by year 2020. The procurement system used for this project is Management Contracting MPWD Form 203A. A contract is between a management contractor and a work contractor. Specialized contractor and supplier will of course be needed to be contracted individually and be managed by management contractor. Here is the location on where the project has been built. Pengerang, Johor. The site was chosen because of its location along major shipping routes between the Middle East and China. With the area of 80 km, it competes with oil refinery, naphtha cracker, petrochemical plants, liquefied natural gas terminal, and regasification plant. The project successfully finished with the cooperation of Petronas as main client, Technicas Reunidas and awarded EPCC for refinery package, Fluor and Technip joint venture who supplied hydrogen reformers, Dialog Group Berhad, a leading integrated technical service provider to the upstream, midstream and downstream sector, while Royal Vopak, a Dutch multinational company that stores and handles various oil, chemical, edible oils and natural gas related products, Essen, who provide naphtha hydrotreating, octanizing Prime K, R2R, and Prime G+. Binapuri Holdings and Dasco are responsible for the civil works in a stream cracker complex. Samsung Engineering, who received EPCC contracts for its LLDPE and ethylene oxide ethylene glycol plants. ATB Group helps in providing for ARDS reactors. Punj Lyont, an Indian engineering procurement and construction contractor providing service for energy, infrastructure and defense sectors, while Johor Port Berhad supply manned services, manpower, equipment and system. The main concept of Rapid Pengerang is to produce diesel and gasoline that meets Euro 4 and Euro 5 fuel specification using modern technology but still following the environmental regulations. Next, I will pass to my dear friend Ellie to continue the technique used in constructing refineries.
Assalamualaikum and hi, I am Eli. I will continue this presentation. I will talk about the project concept. The main concept at the Rapid Pengerang is to produce diesel and gasoline that meet Euro 4 and Euro 5 fuel specifications. It is designed for supply feedstock for the petrochemical complex. The modern technologies at the Rapid Pengerang help to develop the product while follow the environmental regulation. Other than that, it is also supported by a liquefied natural gas LNG terminal which is funded by the Petronas. Other ancillary project is raw water supply project, air separation units, deep water terminal, LNG regasification terminal, centralized and shared utility facilities. This is the basic refining flow. Crude oil will be supplied from the offshore and it will be stored in the storage tank. Then it will be distilled through the distillation oven to become the intermediate product. The intermediate product will undergo separation, conversion, upgrading and mixing to become the end product. Lastly, the end product will be distributed to the user through the oil and gas company. This is the example of the end product such as gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, oil, asphalt, lubricants, synthetic rubber, plastic, fertilizer, and pesticide. Next is the techniques used in the upstream and midstream sector. There are three main sectors in oil and gas industry, which is upstream sector, midstream, and downstream. Upstream sector is located at the sea inside the national border. The main part of this sector is exploration, drilling, and the production of the crude oil. It is a process from getting a raw material to a refinery. Midstream sector involves the transportation, storage, and gas processing. Pipelines are the most economical method to transport the crude oil across the long distance. Storage tank will be used to store the petroleum product, while depleted reservoir will store the natural gas. Lastly, the main part of the downstream sector is refining, storage, distributing, and marketing. It covers from the refining of the crude oil and also selling and distribution of the end product. Example is diesel, natural gas, gasoline, heating oil, lubricants, pesticide, pharmaceuticals, and propane. Drilling. Drilling oil requires to drill through the layers of the surface of the earth to reach the hydrocarbon deposits. Drilling also takes place onshore, below the earth's subsoil, and offshore, below the seabed of the earth. There are two techniques for drilling. First is cable tool drilling. This method is used in the shallow well and low pressure formation. The basic concept of this drilling is it needs to drop a heavy metal through the earth repeatedly to smash through the rock and punching through the hole until the appropriate length. Next is horizontal drilling. Horizontal drilling is more flexible that allows the natural gas exploration, which is not feasible. It is because on the surface it has a vertical well, but beneath the surface the well inclines so that it runs parallel to the natural gas formation. So this is the technique for the pipeline installation. Firstly, we have to construct the staging area. In order to construct the pipeline, the staging area should be clear and the storage yard will be placed along the proposed right-of-way. Next, clear cutting the right-of-way. The tree will be cut and burned, and the stump grinder will remove the remaining tree stump. Then, excavating trench. The trench for the pipeline will be excavated after the site clearance is done. Next, pipe transport, stringing and assembly, obstacle, and testing and restoration. Pipe transport, stringing, and assembly. When the trench is finished, pre-coated pipe length, usually 12 meters, are moved from the storage area to the right-of-way. The pipe parts would be welded together, sandblasted, and epoxy coated welded joint to avoid corrosion. Then, the welding joints are tested with X-rays to ensure their consistency. Link pipeline will be lowered to the trench. Obstacles. Pipelines may cross natural bridges, highways, waterways, or wetlands. Under this barrier, pipelines are usually built either by boring for shallow depth or by using horizontal directional drilling (HDD) for deeper positioning. Each challenge involves a specific approach and order of action. Lastly, testing and restoration. Once trenches are dug and pipes are transported to the staging area prepared by the construction workers, pipes are laid down beside the trenches. Pipe sections are then bent using pipe bending tools, welded together, sandblasted, and joints are coated to prevent corrosion. We proceed to the methods to test the tank foundation. As Rapid Pengerang has many huge tanks and storage tanks, it is vital to test the tank foundation. Tank foundation is a base to support the weight of all tank and contain spillage. It required to test on each 0.3 meter thick layer of glazed and compacted material by using one of these methods. which is nuclear density gauge method, core cutter method, sun replacement method, and plate load test. Nuclear density gauge method. Nuclear densitometry is used to determine the density and the inner structure of the test material. It consists of a radiation source which emit particles and have a sensor that counts the particle obtained, either it is reflected or passed through the test material. Next is core cutter methods. This method is to ensure the specified compaction is achieved. It also to determine the bulk density of the soil easily. It calculates the dry density of the field by calculating the moisture content of the soil and the percentage of void. High percentage of void will indicate the poor compaction of soil. Next is sand replacement method. It can measure the in-situ volume of the hole when the material was excavated from the weight of sand with known density filling in the hole. It can assess the in-place density of the compacted soil. It specifies how similar the soil compaction is to the designated degree of compaction. Lastly is plate load test. It is to determine the ultimate bearing capacity of the soil and the probable settlement under a given load. It is suitable for selecting and designing the shallow base. The step for the plate load test is, firstly, plate is mounted at the desired depth, then the load is applied rapidly. For each load increment, the settlement is reported. If a settlement occurs, the total load up to that point is calculated and divided by the area of the plate. Therefore, one of these methods can be used to test the tank foundation. Next, I will present about the types of oil refinery. There are 4 types of oil refinery, which is topping oil refinery, conversion oil refinery, hydroskimming oil refinery, and deep conversion refinery. The type of oil refinery used at the Rapid Pengerang is deep conversion refinery. First is topping oil refinery. It is the simplest refinery configuration. It consists of tankage, a distillation unit, recovery facilities for gases and light hydrocarbon. Also ada necessary utility systems such as steam, power and water, and also treatment plant. It can produce a large quantity of unfinished oil and able to produce more than half of their output as residual oil. However, this type of oil refinery is not preferable because the demand for the high sulfur fuel oil is declining. Next is hydroskimming oil refinery. It consists of only atmospheric distillation, reforming such as naphtha reforming, and hydrotreating. It is complex than topping refinery. It produces the naphtha and gasoline and has the catalytic reformer, which is to generate higher octane reformate and hydrocarbon for hydrotreating units. However, this oil refinery produces a surplus fuel with no relative price and demand. Next is conversion oil refinery. It is the most versatile refinery configuration. It consists of all the building blocks. It has a feature of gas oil conversion plant such as alkylation or polymerization unit and choking units to reduce the production of residual fuel. It is able to produce 2/3 of its output as gasoline, high-quality jet fuel, liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, diesel fuel, and small quantity of petroleum coke. The solvent extraction processes, which can turn the manufacturing lubricant and petrochemical unit into polymers. Lastly is deep conversion refinery. It is a special class of conversion refineries. It has choking units to destroy the heaviest and least valuable crude oil by converting them into the lighter stream. Then it will be served as additional feed to other conversion processes. It has upgrading processes such as catalytic reforming that produce more valuable light products. At Rapid Pengerang, the refinery has the capability to process 300,000 barrels per day and completes with isononanol plant, steam cracker, 3 sulfur recovery units, liquid sulfur storage unit, and sulfur solidification unit. This is a table comparison between the type of refinery, its process, and the product produced. As we can see, the deep conversion refinery has the most processes and has a higher product produced. Lastly is the technical specification. Rapid Pengerang has chemical facilities that produce hydrogen peroxide, C4 monomer, and also products. The chemical facilities are able to produce 250,000 tons of hydrogen peroxide, 220,000 tons of isononanol, and 110,000 tons of 1-butane. PCP, which is Pengerang Cogeneration Plant, has 4 cogeneration units, which generate 1.22 gram watt of electricity and supply the power to the entire PIC complex. All the facilities in the Rapid Pengerang are required to make use of state-of-the-art technologies and should be designed for 20 years of design life. Lastly, all the plants should be able to operate 333 days per year. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Iman and allow me to present to you about the design drawing. As you can see in this drawing, there is a tank foundation drawing. From this drawing, there is a slope with a ratio 1/15 and it's filled with fine sand and aggregate. More of it is layered by the dry sand bitumen mix, coarse crushed rock, and sand bitumen cement. And the next one is a tank. There is a tank drawing with an internal wall with 14,000 millimeter, and at every 6 degrees there is secured with anchor bolt. And more of it at 0 degree, 90 degree, 180 degree, and 270 degree, there is a PVC pipe were installed for a polytunnel conduct. And at every 40 degree, there is 4 PVC pipes installed around for cathodic protection. And the next one is a horizontal visual foundation or drum foundation, also known as a horizontal drums. And it used as a standard precaution and to ensure the stability of the foundation. At the top of the drum, it is installed a sliding plate to reduce the vibration and maintain structural integrity. And the next one is a vertical visual or column foundation. As you can see, the footing shape is an octagonal shape and the number of piles is 15 piles and it is secure with an anchor bolt. Also, it is equipped with a sloped steel pipe drain. And the next one is a steel structure. As you can see in the steel structure, the height of it is 36.7 meter and the level of it, there is 8 levels. And the height per level is 4 meter. And the area of it is 36 meters square for a tank. Moreover, for the steel structure, there is equipped with handrail, strap, and catch ladder. And the last one is a type wall. As you can see in this drawing, the type of wall is we use a carbon steel and the thickness wall is 250 mm thick. The area of it is 8,500 mm times 15,500 mm. And for the wall expansion joint, it is 300 mm.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Irfan and I will be continuing on from what Aiman last said. So for now, I will explain about the process that occurs in oil refinery and how to build it. So firstly, we have the site preparation, which will be continued by pipeline installation, and then crude tank installation, heater, crude unit, coker, distillation, hydrocracker, reformer, and lastly for the blender installation. Okay, first thing first is the site clearance. And then for the site clearance, we will have to remove the topsoil, and then there will be an excavation for trench and pit. And after the excavation, of course, we will have to fill and do an embankment and after that we will do a ground improvement technique on the soil to make it more stable and firm. So for the site clearance, as you can see here, this is removing the shrubs and also the lights. So we have to clear the area, clear the tree and such. So we have to maintain information on what we dispose and everything, and to request an inspection form to calculate this and survey the area as well. So to remove the topsoil, we have set survey markers that indicate the field of work in which topsoil removal is necessary. We have to remove topsoil in order to gain more stability in the soil. So we have to strip like 300 mm of topsoil to subsoil level. The rest of the detail you can see here. And then excavation for trenches, we have to excavate, backfill and compact, like I said here. Of course, the sites of excavation shall be adequately supported at all times, maybe using wood and such for extra support. Okay, next is fills and embankments. Like I said earlier, we have to find a suitable material or reuse the excavated materials that we get from trenches or the pits earlier, and then we have to deposit and compact them, not exceeding 250 mm thick. Okay, next, like I said earlier, after the embankments, we have to improve the ground using ground improvement method. So for this project, we will use one of the four methods, which is vibro-compression. This is we use this bar machine here. So a vibrator penetrates to the design depth, and then the force react between soil particles reduced by the vibration, which will allow them to become denser. By using water jetting, this will help to aid penetration in the soil. And then sand will be poured in from this tube here, from the ground level around the vibrator, and it will be compacted at the base. And then the vibrator will be removed as well. And then next, for the pipeline installation, we will have this one here. I will explain more in the next one. So for the handling and transportation of the pipes, we cannot do this. We cannot roll, skid or drag the pipes, as it might damage the pipes. And then a soft protective cushion pads are placed to further secure the conditions of the pipes. Everything is to preserve the condition of the pipes in order not to damage them. And then we have called the stringing. Stringing is like you can see on the picture here. You see these wooden things here. So we place this, and this is called stringing. Okay. So the next is trenching. Like I said previously, during site preparation, we have done trenching before. So the purpose of this trenching is that so we can lay down the piles that we have set out just now to put in the trench. So after that, we will of course install the pipes. So for the trench that we excavated earlier, we will put a blinding concrete of grade either 20 or 25, which have a minimum of 6 mm meters thick. Okay, at the base. So you can see here that this person is welding the pipes together. Okay, next one is painting. Painting is used to combat erosion for the pipes. This is because the pipes are highly volatile and highly chemical as well because of the oil. So here you can see the table for what you should use and what for the types of liquids that might be affected. So this is the color that should be painted for the pipes. So after the installation of the pipe, of course we will have to test the pipe to see if there's any leakage or such. So for this we will use pneumatic test. which will use a sonic detector or soapy water, and will be held for at least 10 minutes and such. And then this is generally it. Okay, so for the next one, of course, we will have to install the crude oil tank. The crude oil tank at Rapid Pengerang have around like capacity of 300,000 barrels. So the main function of the crude oil tank is to store raw unprocessed oil. So this is the general notes for that. Like I said, a coating of paint, also called epoxy, is needed to maintain the structure from being corroded by the oil. For the next one, so as you can see here, this is the tank foundation. So we use geotextile compacted sand in order to further improve the stability of the soil. Okay, this is actually you can see this more on the drawings before. This is just a general note of that one. Okay, so this one you can see the general process. Okay, painting, blah blah blah. So this one is the tank foundation. You can see this circular dome here. You can see it being slowly erected here, and then like this. So the first thing first that you will have to do is, of course, you have to build the foundations, and then there's actually you cannot see it, but there's piles over here based on the drawings that Eamon have provided before. The pilings that occurs here, that was piled here, is reinforced concrete. So the walls are made up, and then they will slowly make the arch dome roof. So the specifications to that is that API 653 tank inspection, repair, alteration, and reconstruction, which involve the inspection, maintenance, modification, and restoration of steel overground storage tank using the petroleum and chemical industries. So as you can see here, this are the general specifications for the crude oil tanks. Okay, moving on to the next slide, we will have the crude oil furnace. So for the crude oil furnace, this is linked to the crude oil tank, of course, to start the process of the crude oil refineries and to heat up the oil. Okay, so basically this is the same as the crude oil tank. We will have to, as you can see here, this is a concrete pile, and then they will slowly erect upwards. Yeah, so this is the specifications as well. It will use API standard 560 and API standard 330. So this is the basically the general specification for the furnace. And also we will have the crude unit installation. So, okay, typically special lifting operation tends on pile made of reinforced concrete poured 60 meter deeps to the ground. Okay, then the steel tower comes from the manufacturer in a separate column. Then the column is welded together on site, equipped with external ladder and platforms to become a steel tower. The tower crane picks up the foot of the column by using its hook and lift up the column from horizontal position to vertical position. So basically, this is almost like it was precasted from the factory, like it was pre-made, so everything will just be unloaded at the site. Yeah, so as you can see here, most of this was pre-made, so it was installed on the site. Like I mentioned here, it's been installed in factory. Then to allow the products to flow to the plant, valves are installed. As for the large valve, rotary valves are required. Okay. So this is the crude unit installation for the specification. It has to the function to operate up to 460 Celsius to fully function. Right, moving on to the next slide. So now we will have the coker installation. It allows the products to flow to other plants, and valves are installed as well. As for the large valves, rotary valves are required. These valves allow for the discharge of the petroleum coke from the drum. The steel structure is erected around the drum. As you can see here, this is drum. You have 4 of these. Okay, so this is the specifications for it. Like I said here, you can have a minimum of 4 drums and up to 8 drums with a diameter of up to 10 meters and an overall height of up to 43 meters each. It should also be able to contain a very high temperature of a coker. That is about 583 Celsius each. For the steel structure that was built on the drum in Rapid is that this is the dimension as you can see here, and so this is the function of each drum. Okay, so as you can see, this is the general drawings of the coker installation. Okay, next we will have the crude oil distillation. The distillation consists of a series of stacked plates, as you can see here. There is a line here, so that is the stack plates. Liquid feed containing a combination of 2 or more liquids shall join the column at 1 or more stages. The liquid actually runs through the pipe, and the vapor bubbles to the liquid through the gaps in the plates. So this have the same concept as the crude unit as mentioned by me previously. The foundation will be prepared, that is by reinforced concrete column, and then most of the structure are pre-made from the factory, so they will direct transport it, and they will of course connect it to the valves that were prepared beforehand. So as you can see here, this is the plates that I mentioned. So the hot vapors will rise and the cooler liquids will fall. Okay, so next we will move on to the hydrocracking installation. A hydrocracker uses gas oil, which is of course heavier and has a greater boiling range than refined fuel oil, which will of course crack the heavy molecules into distillate and gasoline in the presence of hydrogen and a catalyst. So basically this simply means that hydrocracker upgrades low quality hot gas oils to high quality clean burning jet fuel, diesel, and even gasoline. For the installation of the hydrocracker, of course, it has the same concept as the crude unit and also distillation column, where the structure itself will be provided by the Fluor company. As you can see here, it has been shipped from overseas, so they will transport the whole thing from the factory to the site itself to be connected to all the previous valves and the preparations made. Okay, this is the function that I have explained before. Okay, moving on, we will go to the reformer. It is required to calculate the load and size and types of reformer to use, because it will differ for each and every refineries. This is because in the petroleum industry, it can be 2 types of reformer technologies, which are the SR reformer and CCR reformer. Reformer is one of the most important equipment in the refinery process. It is also an important unit for making high quality gasoline and preventing from low octane heavy naphtha production. Okay, moving on to the next. So we will have the installation procedure for the reformer. Of course, like the basics, it is the excavation and site clearance as usual, and then we will construct the foundation of the reformer. We will of course install the concrete column, base column, beam, and cover plate. These concrete columns and base columns will of course be erected from the reinforced concrete pile from the floor, and then we will install the main and cover plate at the bottom plate panel of the reformer. Then we will wet the steel after election of reformer tubes. The pre-erected module panels and starting with two edges panels. Then wall panels need to be guided with ropes. We will of course need to install stiffening beams and auxiliary columns for main beams burner platform. At the burner row, ceiling panel type 1 and type 2 were installed. Burner platform walkways also have been installed, which will of course need to have staircase and observe platform at the burner platform. After that, pre-erected frame-house frames and bracing structure will be needed in this building. Okay, next. This is the general notes of that. Okay, solution. So for the specifications on that is that it needs to have 344,500 nm3 per hour capacity, and according to the rapid pengerang specification, for floors, platforms, walkways, and staircase used for maintenance / operation or access purposes, a live load reduction shall be calculated based on equation 6.1 or BSEN 1991 with a lower limits of 50% reduction for beams and of 75% reduction for the columns and foundation. This is also the specifications for the others one. Okay, next we will come to the last component in the oil refinery, which is the blender. Blender is one of the equipment in the crude oil yard, which is oil refinery process, like I mentioned earlier. And then blender is also used in gasoline blending, which is a refinery operation that blends different component streams into various grades of gasoline. Moreover, it uses to assign all available blend components to satisfy the product demand and specifications to minimize costs and maximize the overall profit. So this is the installation process. We will, of course, like the other units as well, we will need to construct blender foundations for blending oil refinery. Then the system of the blender is delivered in a 20 feet HC container. After the system of the blender has been delivered, the efficient handling of the equipment, which is lifting points prepared, is a must. Then for plating all the steel from the place to around the blender, it uses jack. It is erected by a lift jack machine to make a wall tank. After that, the vertical welding in PF or PG position is used by various welding methods. Types of welding methods is referring to the M&E drawing. During the welding work, there is a welding station to protect the equipment and welding processes from harsh weather and also harsh conditions as well. And then we will need to install the plate above the root structure using a lifting device, and then also the step is repeated until the wall reaches the proposed height of the blender. Okay, and then we will install the ladder, railing, and piping after the tank wall is erected. So this is the general specifications for the blender in oil refinery. Vibration analysis is required for elevated machinery, and also dynamic analysis, and also the roof inspection as well. And then this equation 6.1 of BSEN 1991 is quite the same as the one before this. Okay, I think that is all from me. I will leave Anis Shafika to move on with the next section. Thank you.
Hi, I am Anis Shafika. So today, allow me to share on the materials, plant and machineries and labor. First, I would like to share about the materials. There are a lot of materials that has been used in this rapid project. First of all, in site preparation, there are materials such as wood strut and sand. Wood strut placed at every 1.8 meter and needed to support the voids of excavation from collapse. Sand are then used for ground improvement method. Vibro compaction method has been used in order to improve the strength of the ground. In pipeline installation, the materials that are used such as VCP pipes, galvanized steel pipes, lean concrete or blinding grade C20, hardcore and thermal spray colored coating. For VCP pipes, it is to resist the chemical corrosion, meanwhile galvanized steel pipe is used to transport the natural gas. As for the lean concrete, it is poured on the hardcore and to function as sealing the underlying material and leveling of the surface. For the thermal spray color coating, it is helped to differentiate the types of the pipeline. In crude tank installation, the materials that involves are permeable geotextile, crushed stone, steel grip blasting, and crude tank. As for the permeable geotextile, it allows the base to shed water while preventing the soil around it from moving into the base. For the crushed stone, it is to achieve a minimum deformation modulus in receiving the tank foundation. Therefore, the crushed stone will be installed before the foundation tank. In steel grip blasting, it comes with variety of colors such as white, blue, or any color according to the manufacturer's requirement in order to prepare the surfaces before welding. For the crude tank, it will be consisting of foundation ring, annular plates, and trusses of conic nodes. For the foundation ring, it is placed around the tank foundation to receive annular plates. For the annular plates, it will form the base and wall, which is then will form as a shell. Other than that, the trusses of conic nodes are needed to form a roof structure. In process such as furnace installation, there is materials such as furnace tank that will allow to break up stream emulsion and separating crude oil from water and other foreign materials. Other than that, in process such as crude distillation unit installation or CDU, there are materials such as reinforced concrete piles and CDU. The reinforced concrete piles are used in most of the installation in the refineries. The CDU used to separate light and heavy crude oil, but before installing the CDU or any other types of installation, 60 meter of reinforced concrete piles are being installed first whenever necessary, depending on the ground conditions. Next, coker unit installation. There are reinforced concrete piles and coker unit. After the installation of the reinforced concrete piles, a strong foundation is achieved. Therefore, this will allow to place a drum that which may have diameter up to 10 meters. Next one is crude oil distillation. The crude oil distillation unit allowed to entails the isolation of product on the basis of variation in their volatility. As in the process of the hydrocracker installation, there are materials such as reinforced concrete piles and hydrocracker. The installing reinforced concrete piles in the soil increase the stability. Other than that, the hydrocracker functions to upgrade low-quality hard gas oils to high-quality, clean-burning jet fuel, diesel, and gasoline. Next, reformer installation. In reformer installation, there are materials such as concrete column base, concrete column, concrete beam, and reformer. The concrete column base, column, and beam installed are to receive the reformer unit. The reformer allowed to produce high-quality gasoline and preventing from low-octane and heavy naphtha production. Besides that, blender installation. The blender installation involves materials such as blender. The blender will assign all available blend components to satisfy the product demand and specifications. Next is plant and machineries. There are a lot of types of plant and machineries has been used in this project. Some of them work interdependently. So we will see what are the types of the plant and machineries used. In process for site preparation, there are type of plant and machineries used such as motor grader, bulldozer and excavator. As we can see here, motor grader work interdependently with bulldozer and bulldozer work interdependently with the excavator. These motor grader and bulldozer function to strip the surface of vegetation and debris and function to dump dirt at new location. Besides that, it will finish the rough leveling of the sites. For the bulldozer and excavator, they will remove the shrubs, bushes and trees and help to stack all the debris for site clearance. And the bulldozer will remove the topsoil and push it into stockpile to be spread for final grading and then to be transported using trucks to authorized place. So the bulldozer will have to collect the dirt and dump it into trucks to be transported into desired area. For the dump trucks, it involves in all processes. It will load all the cleared trees and shrubs to be disposed at the authorized place, and it will transport the dirt to authorized place. Other than that, for the crude tank and site preparation, there is a compactor involved in this process. The compactor will function to compact the soil so that right density of the soil can be achieved, and then it will help to compact the crushed stone to the final level for tank placement. As for process in site preparation, there was a crane with a suspended vibrator used. So this crane used in ground improvement by using vibro compaction method to compact the soils in order to allow the structural load is to be able to transfer to suitable levels in poor ground condition. The penetration of the vibrator was aided by the water jet. In other processes such as installation of the crude tank, furnace, crude distillation unit, coker, crude oil distillation, hydrocracker, reformer and blender, there are machineries such as pile driver, tower crane, concrete mixer truck and concrete vibrator. As I mentioned earlier, reinforced concrete piles are used in most of the installation of the refinery. So the pile driver will help to drive the precast concrete pile whenever necessary. And as for the tower crane, it will help to lift the pile from horizontal to vertical position to be driven by pile driver. It also helps to transport the concrete using bucket and pour to the desired area. This is because sometimes the concrete mixer truck cannot access to some area, so they need the help of the bucket of the tower crane to help to pour the concrete in the desired area. And then it also helps to position the tower to fit in the threaded rods. I have provided a video for you to see on how the tower crane to help position the tower.
Then comes that tense moment the column is erected. Will the numerous holes fit over the numerous three? Will the C3 splitter be completely released from the...
Besides that, the concrete mixer truck will carry the pre-mixed concrete and pour the concrete for the foundation of the tank. And the concrete vibrator will be used during the concreting before the concrete set that will help to vibrate the concrete. In crude tank and blender installation process, there is machinery such as lift jack machine used. So this machine used to install and erect the blades around the tank. Besides that, in blender installation process, 20 feet container used to deliver the system of the wall to the sites from the factory. This is because the size of the wall is too big, so 20 feet container could help to deliver to the sites. Besides that, in site preparation process, there are tools such as nuclear density gauge, core cutter, sand replacement tools used in soil investigation. This tool is really beneficial in performing the soil investigation in order to determine what is the ground condition and what are the techniques that can be taken in order to improve the ground conditions. Besides that, in site preparation process and crude tank installation process, there was plate load test tool was used. So this tool used to determine the ultimate bearing capacity of the soil and the probable settlement under the given load. It also to measure the specified compaction layer of crushed stone. Other than that, most of the process, the excavator and trucks were used. The excavator used in trench excavation and also the backfilling, and it's also used for pit excavation for foundation preparation. As for the trucks, it used to transport the pipes, tanks and tower to the sites. As for the pipeline process, there was forklifts used in lifting facilities such as pipes. Besides that, in most of the process, type machineries that has a lot of function has been used, such as backhoe. So the backhoe helped to lay the pipe into pipeline into the trench. It also used for pit excavation for foundation preparation. It also load dirt and fill in the dump truck before it will be transported to the desired area. Besides that, welding tool used in pipeline process and crude tank installation process. It will function as welding the pipe together, welding the plates together, and welding any parts of the tanks or tower. Last but not least, in pipeline process, there are plant and machineries or tools that has been used, such as spraying pipe, X-ray, pipe bending machine, sonic detector, and odometer. As for the spraying pipe, it is used in coating pipe with color code designated so that the color code will help to differentiate the type of the pipe. Besides that, X-ray used to ensure consistency at the jointing. So after welding, the test conductor will use the X-ray to ensure the consistency at the jointing. Besides that, pipe bending machine will use to bend the pipe to navigate the pipe to the desired path. This is because the size of the pipe is way too big and a human cannot be able to bend the pipe. Other than that, sonic detector used to detect if there is any leakage in the pipeline, and odometer is used to test the entirety of the underground piping system, whether it is a successful or poor piping connection. So these are the pictures of the type plant, machineries and tools that has been used in this project. So in figure 5, as we can see here, this is the dump truck that has been used most of all the process. In site preparation, it helped to transport the debris into authorized place to be disposed, and in most of other process, it is used to load the dirt in to be transported into desired area. And in figure 7, this is a crane with a suspended vibrator and water jet that was used for the ground improvement by using vibro compaction method. And in figure 8, this is sound pouring cylinder that one of the tools that has been used in performing soil investigation. Besides that, these are the pictures of the tools that has been used for the soils investigation. So these are another type of plant machineries and tools that has been used in this project. So as you can see in figure 17, it is pipe bending machine that used to bend the pipe to navigate the pipe. And then in figure 19, pipe X-ray that was used to check the consistency of the welding. Figure 20, pipe coating using spraying pipe, used to spray the pipe using color code to help to differentiate the type of the pipe. Besides that, these are the pictures of pre-mixed concrete pour in bucket, concrete mix truck, concrete vibration using concrete vibrator, concrete pile driver, tower crane, and also lift jack machine, full wall erection. Lastly, this is picture of a flatbed truck for transporting tank and tower to the site area from the factory. Last but not least is about labor. There are few types of labor used in this project. With the existence of the plant and machineries, it will not totally help the completion of the construction. With the skills and energy, also the knowledge of the labor in operating the machine, therefore the completion of the construction will be achieved. So this is the idea on how labor and plant and machineries work interdependently. We can see with skills and advanced training they are able to operate the plant and machineries very well, besides make planning and decisions based on judgments and knowledge that they have. Thus, completion of the constructions can be achieved. In all process, there are few types of labor that has been helping in the construction. There are general labor, semi-skilled labor, skilled labor, and supervisor. As for the general labor, there are types of labor that does not require any kind of skills and will be helping in simple working such as cleaning the sites and transporting the material. They also will assist the semi-skilled labor and skilled labor and will be remain the same throughout the construction project. As for the semi-skilled labor, there are type of labor that need more skill than the general labor and have to use their knowledge and judgment during their working. There are examples such as truck driver and help in site preparation. They also drive and operate such as forklift for lifting and laying facilities such as pipes, drive the dump truck, driving truck, and 20-feet container. Besides that, skilled labor. The skilled labor requires advanced training and has specialized skill. They also have need to use the judgment and knowledge they have during the working. So what they do is to drive and operate other heavy machineries such as excavator, motor grader, bulldozer, and so on. They also need to ensure the site leveling and monitor and supervise the site preparation according to the drawings and plan. Besides that, the supervisor. The supervisor supervise all the skilled labors such as during testing works and procedure and act as a test conductor throughout all process in construction. In this project, test conductor was required in process such as site preparation, pipeline, and crude tank installation. So their function was to conduct necessary tests at this stage. For example, in pipeline process, the test conductor was conducted a test to check the consistency of the welding after pipe welding. Last but not least, there are type of labor to erect formwork, cut, bend and fix steel bar, lay BRC weld mesh, and cast concrete. So basically, this type of labor involved in concreting work, and they will be working in foundation activities or any concreting activities in most of the process. So that is all from me. Thank you.
Okay, So next, I would like to present to you about the management aspect in a rapid run. As you can see in the slide, there are 4 types of management aspect in the rapid run, which are traffic management, van and flare management, waste management, and other management. So first, I would like to explain to you about the traffic management. In this slide, it can be divided into 2 for traffic management, which are road access and escape ways. Okay, for the road access, it can be only 2 vehicles are permitted to pass each other safely and to deploy to affected area. And all area of the plant where emergency vehicle may require access shall be provided. Also for the escape ways, it can be 2 or more means of escape from raised platforms shall be provided. Access to overhead platforms shall be reserved in all cases where frequently accepted is required for operator and maintenance work. Okay, so next is van and flare management. As you can see, van is need a treatment following BA3 required process as a flare. Vapor recovery unit shall be established based on the Malaysian regulations requirements for gases emissions, and it can be release of flammable or toxic gas from atmospheric storage, a tank, or AOC network. And for the flare, hydrocarbon disposal to flare shall be via a collecting system. And the next is waste management. Okay, in here, there are 4 methodology is developed in the waste management. So the first thing is identify hazardous liquid which can cause marine water pollution for environmental in the plant based on the associate MSDS. And the second is identify the equipment handling this liquid and identify also the potential of spillage areas. And the third is the quality for each liquid hazardous for the environment, their whole value for small and large spillage. And the last is a specification of protection measure to be implemented. Okay, as you can see in here, it can be the 2 things which are solid waste management and liquid waste management. And the last is I will explain about the other management. Okay, for the other management, the personal protection and noise consideration. For the personal protection, equipment shall be provided to protect operator from any risk associated to the accident contract with the fleet and handle it with the plant during operational of the facilities. For the noise consideration, noise and vibration level should be minimized as you can to an acceptable as per Malaysian regulations and relevant code and standard in order to achieve the following objective, which is to prevent the noise induced and to reduce work speech and to prevent annoyance to the neighboring and community. Here, the next one is advanced system in a rapid turnaround. As you can see in the system, it can be divided into 2, which are production control and monitoring system and advanced information system. For the production control and monitoring system, there are 5 types in it, while for the advanced information system, there are 4 types of advanced system in it. So the first one, I would like to explain to you about the production control and monitoring first. The first one is advanced analysis system. As you can see in the slide, there are 3 types of analysis system, which are NIR spectroscopy, Raman spectroscopy, and nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. 3 of them have their own function. Also, 3 of them have technology widely used in the oil and gas industry. So here, the next is blending control and monitoring system. As you can see in this system, the function of this system is to ensure that the recipe are combined, usually determined by the production, planning, and scheduling department are properly implemented, performed based on the academic data. Also to optimize the blend recipe to minimize the quality giveaway while ensuring that the finished product is on the specification. So the third is oil movement and storage system, OMS. For this product, for this system, it is for monitoring of refinery tank farm. Also, it control the flow and allow the motion and execution and control the execution. And the fourth is advanced process control system. The function of the system is recognize all operational constraints and safety and environmental limits. Also to maintain the product quality specifications and maximize the productions, and also mitigate or reject the impact of the process, utility, and environment disturbance. And the last is a plant information system, or PIMS. As you can see, and the function of the system is to collect analog and the digital process data automatically from the other systems such as the DECS, also to allow for manual data entry whenever required. Moreover, it's also to transfer data to the other system or to documents such as MS Office formats, like LIMS data to Excel spreadsheets. Not only that, it also can compress, record, filter, achieve online and then offline data in the centralized data history or defined time periods. So the next is advanced information system. The first is analyzer, maintenance, and data acquisition system. For this system, the function of the system is to monitor the performance of selected online analyzer and detect, plus it can predict abnormal behavior by statistical analysis of measurement value from the analyzer. And the second is automatic corrosion monitoring system. As you can see in the system, it can be monitoring the corrosion of the selected equipment, the pipes, the regions susceptible to corrosion in the plant corroded. And the third is a computerized maintenance management system. As you can see in the system, the function of the system is to identify, prepare, schedule, and achieve all the useful information and collect, organize, and it helped to produce two of the follow-up and unplanned maintenance tasks. Also, it helped the maintenance staff in their daily tasks to easy giving access to useful data. And it's not only that, it also can facilitate the activity of documentation. So here, the last one is operator training simulator. This system is to provide the operational personnel of the plant also with a realistic knowledge of how to work in the different conditions before and after plant startup. The process system of the rapid also is a very complex, including the normal operational at the different throughputs. So that's all from me, and thank you.